They could let me join it.
Hey,
Hello?
Darius.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
All
what?
right, Darius. It's nice to have you with us. All right, everybody. So this is another episode of This Is Us, and due to some unforeseen circumstances, Dora Alexander is not going to be able to be here for this episode, but we got Darius Johnson with us. So say hello to Darius, everybody.
How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today?
So, Darius, like usual, I'm going to ask you to just give us a little brief, a little description about yourself. So, name, age, location, stuff like that.
Well, um, well, my name is Darrius John. Uh, uh, Calling out of the, I want to say this is not uptown, but it's not midtown either of Columbus. Uh,
Columbus, Georgia, right?
Columbus, Georgia. Columbus, Georgia.
Right.
Um, I'm getting a whole bunch of emails from
Oh, okay. I see you a busy man, busy man.
it. It's just emails about the live video.
Oh, okay. Um, so, I was getting a little static on my end, so I don't know if everybody else was getting the same thing, but I know your name, and then you said where you were located at. Did you give us your age?
Uh, 33.
33? Okay. So for those of us who are like me and can't see nothing, can you give us like a little brief description of what you look like physically?
Yeah, 1 second. Excuse me. Um, yeah, I'm about 5'11". Uh, Brown eyes, black hair. Well, no, I'm really bald actually. I don't have any hair. I'm lying to everybody.
Okay.
Maybe I just wish to have hair. I don't have any.
Right.
But pretty solid. I'll say I might be maybe 190 to 200 pounds. Uh, I don't know. Kind of tall. Like I said, uh, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, one thing that I tend to ask, and this was because I haven't been blind all my life, but one thing I tend to ask is if anybody has ever compared you to a celebrity or said you resembled a public figure, who would that have been?
Well, maybe people say I act like Ray Charles when when with the women, that kind of thing.
Right, right.
But as far as how me looking like somebody, no, I never really got that.
Oh, okay, okay. So, the usual formalities. So, what is the extent of your blindness and what caused it?
Okay, well, this is actually an interesting question. A lot of people won't believe this, but my mom actually got scratched by a cat when she was pregnant with me. Uh, and so I got what you call
Okay,
toxoplasmosis. And
okay.
they didn't know it for the first
Hmm,
month. They didn't know I was actually couldn't see for the first month of me not being able to see. But they figured it out, and yeah, that's the reason why I can't see. It's toxoplasmosis.
okay,
They said I got a little cataract on my eye too, but
okay.
that's not
And
really the reason why.
stupid comment. Oh, okay. And stupid reason, and I probably shouldn't be saying this out loud, but it's funny because I used to always wonder why they told pregnant women not to be around cats and stuff like that. So y'all don't, crucify me because I'm starting to connect the two. But yeah, so I guess that makes sense.
Well, it
Women
does
know
make
cats
sense
during
because
pregnancy, I
it
guess.
does make sense. It does make sense because that you're not supposed to be around cat litter.
Right,
Around
right,
cat.
and changing the litter box and all of
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Because
yeah, and see, that was one of the things I always wondered. So yeah, so okay, and so the extent of your vision, can you see anything? Shapes, colors,
like
shadows, anything, or
lights
everything's
and
black?
shadows, sometimes maybe moving objects, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not a total person. Sometimes, I mean, I ask you guys. Sometimes I want to ask, y'all, how do y'all be, you guys being total? How do you guys deal with that? Like, you know,
Well, wait, you got to remember who's doing the interviewing now. But no, I can answer that question at the end. No, I got you. I got you. I mean, I can answer that question at the end. But yeah. So I guess my next question would be, what actually brought you to the group, and then what can you say your experience has been like while in the group, the Blind Pen Pals group, for instance?
to be honest with you, I don't really post too much in these groups, in these blind groups. I know a lot of people in them, but I just, but a lot of the time I get kind of lazy and I don't feel like doing all that typing on my phone. I don't have a computer, so I can't, just push one. But I have to do a whole lot of double tapping, and sometimes I don't feel like doing all that. So I just don't write it. But I think a lot of the people in it is pretty cool.
Right,
I'll definitely say that.
right, hmm, right. Okay. And so did I'm assuming Rashad may have introduced you to the group, or how did you find out about the
Well,
group?
I probably was actually in the group before Rashad, actually, to be honest with you. I've known about this group for years. I've known about this group. I've actually met Rashad through another friend.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, okay. So, and it's funny that you actually bring that up. So, as many of you guys are probably noticing as I'm asking these questions, we actually live in the same general area. I'm in Columbus as well. So, me and Darius actually ran into each other at Access to Independence, a nonprofit organization they got down here to help people with disabilities. So, that's
small world,
actually
man.
how we first met. And I'm sure if you probably remember, one of the things that we spoke about was that you are originally from Jersey City, right?
Yeah, I did say that.
Right, right. So how did you end up from Jersey City down here in Columbus, Georgia?
Well, um, well, to be honest with you, I moved to Georgia when I was 13. I moved with my dad in Decatur. Moved with him.
Okay,
He's a doctor. He was in medical school when I first moved with him back in '99, and graduated school down in Douglasville, Georgia, high school. Graduated down there. Um, Went to the Louisiana Center when I was 20. Went there for 9 months. I didn't graduate, but that's a whole nother story. Uh, but I went 9 months anyway.
okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
um, worked a little bit at Envision in Wichita, Kansas, and worked in Bainbridge, Georgia, and just kind of got here. Uh, I'm kind of leaving stuff out of it, really, but I just kind of got here, down here,
Right,
really.
right.
And I mean, I knew a person down here that I kind of wanted to get close with, and I just kind of came here, really.
Okay. So, and I'm not quite sure if I told you this that day, but my father's side of the family is actually from up north. He's actually from Jamaica, Queens, New York.
I think you
So I
did
kind of know the
because you do got the
yeah.
little accent a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, so I know a little bit about, the differences between, northern living and southern living.
Well,
So, but yeah,
I
I hate to go
I
ahead.
got to be honest with you. I mean, I've always had up north ways, and I mean, you know, I can give a little, people some advice too. I'm kind of nervous, but I can give people some advice. Like, I got a lot of up north ways, and it's not always a good thing to have up north ways and to be hood because I mean, it gets you to traveling like how the way I've been doing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's not, for those who think that it's cool to, you know, to, to bust your guns and oh, I'm so hip, and once you start really living like that, you know, it's not really cool no more to you. It's really not,
Okay.
because I've seen a
So,
lot of stuff down here that probably the average blind person hasn't seen down here. I can definitely say that.
hmm, tell some good stories, huh? I can only imagine. Exactly. So, because you were, blind pretty much your entire life, what would you probably say is the difference in blind living up north as opposed to blind living down here in the south?
Well, to be fair, I haven't actually lived a life up north. I moved when I was 13, and I really much spent my whole life down here in the Midwest. And I went to California for a little bit, but I've never
Okay.
actually lived, in Jersey when I was in my last time I've been to Jersey. I might have been like 22 or 23. I think I've been to Jersey,
Okay.
and that was
Okay.
like 10, 11 years ago.
Gotcha. 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 So, one of the things we actually spoke about too when we was at Access to Independence was your love for music. Now,
Mhm.
I know that I had mentioned that I was looking into getting into DJing, and that's still a possible pursuit of mine, hopefully here in the near future.
Yeah.
But I know you said that you had a love for music as well, and that was something you were thinking about doing. So, where did your love of music come from?
Um. Well, I mean, I always like music. Just being up north, like I love up north music. Like I still love up north music. Like Jersey club music is good.
Oh man, you speak it to my heart.
Word up, son. Like like
Yeah, yeah.
I listen to Albie Al from Jersey City. I listen to
Okay,
Ransom from
okay,
Jersey City. I like Jadakiss, Styles P.
okay.
My favorite rapper of all time though was DMX. To be honest with you, my mom tried to get me not to listen to DMX when I was younger, but it didn't really work.
Okay.
It's crazy because I used to know every word of the songs, man.
And that's a whole nother topic to get into. And the crazy thing with DMX is it's like he went so hard at one point in time in his career, and then it's just like he just fell off.
Well, I
And
think
so it's like,
he put his
go
albums
ahead.
out too quick, and he put his stuff out kind of too quickly.
Right.
He put his stuff out
Yeah,
way too quick.
right. I mean, I don't know what your mother's reasoning back then was from having you to not listen to it, but I know that he was very intense for some people. And
Probably
I think a
because
lot
of
of times,
the
right.
person,
And yeah,
and
and I think a lot of times it's hard for
a
people to
lot of
kind
what he
of
was talking about, but
right.
she liked him too, though. So it was kind of hard. It really was hard, because she listened to him too. But
Right, like how can you tell me not to listen to him, but you going into your room to listen
oh,
to
she
him?
bought me the edited CD, but I always had a bootleg CD. I always had a bootleg
Yeah,
CD. Hold on one second.
yeah, you good.
You got CPUs up on here, man. That's what's up.
Say that one more time, because I'm not even looking at any of the views or anything
Well,
like
I just
that.
happened to tap my phone by mistake, and it just kind of came up.
Oh, okay. Well, hello to everybody that's viewing. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
Um,
this has been good conversation. Yeah, I can say that.
oh yeah, yeah. So because I've only dealt with my blindness for about 7 years, probably. Well, going on 7 years in December.
Yeah.
So just from your interaction in the group and just from what you've experienced in life so far, what kind of advice would you give somebody who might be new to this or, still trying to figure out what to do and, how to go about living a blind life?
Um. Well, don't let everybody do things for you. Don't let people cripple you. Cause
Okay.
the more you get crippled, that's the more people look at you like, oh well, oh he blind, oh he can't, like oh he can't do nothing. They try to take advantage of you. Like me, I'm rolling all over town. Like I'll be all over town. I'll be North Columbus, South Columbus. I'll be everywhere on the bus. Me and my cane,
Right.
walking.
Yeah. Yeah, and the funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, I actually posted something earlier today, and I have like I get around with my cane as well, but I just like this funny thing about like if I'm not trailing something or going up against something or something's not guiding me. When I tell you I veer all over the place, I can't walk a straight line to save my life. It's ridiculous.
Well,
So
it's kind
luckily,
of hard to. It's kind of hard to, but you just kind of have to. I mean, you kind of have to. You kind of just have to figure
right,
out how to, really, because I mean, it was hard for me, and sometimes I still do it, but I just kind of realize that I'm doing it and kind of straighten up.
right.
I don't like.
And I
I'm used to.
go ahead.
I'm used to moving kind of quick, and maybe that ain't really the best way to do things because it's not. But I move
Right,
quick, and
right,
um, so like it's just take your time and do things the right way. You know, like do what they if you go to school, do what they taught you how to do. Don't go to
right,
blind school and do what you want to do and try to get with these girls and and what you're doing later type shit and all
right.
that. Like, don't do
Hmm.
all that in school because I mean, you probably won't really succeed too well. That's what
Right. Okay. So I know you had a question earlier, so I'm gonna open up the floor to see if you had any questions for me, and so I can see if I can answer, to the best of my abilities. Switch the roles up here, and let me see if I can answer some questions.
okay. So yeah, so like yeah, how do you being totally blind? Like, how do you real detect between daylight and nighttime?
So for me, and I'm probably gonna explain a whole lot more than I probably should. I've always had a really interesting imagination. I just, I paint these images in my head that I probably know good and damn well it's not really what's going on around me. But who can tell you otherwise?
Right.
So I know for me, one because I'm assuming you're talking about. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. The 924 thing, where you don't know if it's day or night. Um, I rely heavily on you know, clocks or the cell phone or whatever to physically tell me the time, and then you go outside, you can tell when the sun is up, stuff like that. So but I know a lot of people have asked me, how do you make it and not being able to see? And it's just one of them things where it's like, you just I've always just kind of had an upbeat, happy demeanor, or at least I try to. And I think that's kind of what's gotten me by. I know typically the only times I really get down is when I realize that I'm actually looking into darkness. That inner picture fades away, if you will. So I think
Hmm.
that's probably the time that I struggle the most. But outside of that, I mean, I seem to be doing pretty well from what I gather, and I think a lot of people, that's one of the things that a lot of people tend to, compliment me on and, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody get ready to come up here. Hold on. What's up,
Well,
man?
I mean, if you're busy, we ain't gonna hold you. It was only a quick
No,
little
no, no.
interview or
It's
whatnot.
just somebody passing through here. Somebody coming through here. Somebody
Uh,
coming through here. Just knocking on the door.
oh, okay.
Yeah, for the neighbor. For the neighbor. You
Oh,
keep
okay.
on going. You good?
Well, no, I mean, like I said, my main thing and what I really intended for this was just to get to know, well, for the people in the group to get to know some of the members in the group a little bit more. So, I
Right.
mean, I don't know about
Right.
anybody
And
else
this was a
in
good way of
here.
doing it because, like I said, I don't like to do all that writing, man. I don't like to. It's not the fact that I don't like to do all the writing. It's the fact that I don't have a computer to do it. I don't have a computer
Right,
to do it. I have
right,
a phone. and sometimes I will post little stuff, but like I just don't be wanting to write all.
Okay, and I'm actually going to end on this since you spoke about the computers. And for anybody else out there who actually is wondering about this service, there is a service. I think I told you about this in Access to Independence. There's a service called Computers for the Blind, and I believe they are based out of Garland, Texas. So pretty much what they're going to do is when you apply with them, and pretty much since you're blind, you're going to get approved. Um, Pretty much what it is they take refurbished computers, load them up with the software that you need to, be able to, access the computer. So we're talking JAWS and NVDA and stuff like that, and then they send it out to you. Now, in most instances, they'll ask for a small donation. Now, for some people, it may not be that small, but they'll ask for a donation. But if you can fax them proof of you receiving disability or social security income, they'll lower the price. So,
Mm.
you can't beat that. And then, for those of you who
I'm actually looking
are
into
more
getting one
interested in
myself, everybody. So I mean, I'm like trying to get one myself sooner or later.
stuff, yeah. So, and just a side note, those of you who are actually interested in getting one, if you because I got JAWS on mine. So if you prefer to get JAWS, then it comes preloaded with JAWS, I believe, for a year. And then I think after that year, you have to renew your subscription. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I do also believe that it comes with a warranty for that first year. The computer actually does.
Yeah, I think it
So
does.
again, yeah. So again, it's called Computers for the Blind. Like I said, it's based out of Garland, Texas. And hey, if you guys want to reach out to them, I think that's great. Just trying
Give
to
them a phone number.
put them on the map a little bit.
Give them a phone number. They don't. These people might not have a number for it.
Off the top of my head, I don't know it, but if you guys look
I
down in the
know it's a
comments,
two
I
one
definitely
four
will.
number. I do know it's a 214 number.
Okay. Um, yeah, well, if nothing else, I'll definitely put the information down in the comment section and let you guys know, so, address, name of the company, their website, stuff like that, just so you guys can go and, you know, get some more information. But Darius, all right, man. Well, first off, thank you for doing the interview. I definitely really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah,
We
it's no
got to know a little bit
problem.
more about you.
It's no problem, man. It's definitely no
So yeah, and
problem.
like I and luckily, hopefully, you get that computer soon.
Yeah, hopefully,
So
maybe,
yeah.
maybe for Christmas.
Right, right. So, but all right, everybody, this is another episode of This Is Us, and I'll be hollering at you again later.
See ya.